to my fellow community members on school and to those that are community holders, I acknowledge you and I pay respect. So I just wanted to share a download, an ancestral shift, a universal moment that has happened in my spirit and in myself and experience over the last 24 to 48 hours. And I felt called to share it here, in particular to the communities that I am a part of and to my own community that I am nurturing. It is time to get up, stand up and show up. It is time to be the adult, the parent, the CEO, the coach, the therapist, the healer, whatever is the role that speaks to you the most. It is time to do that for ourselves rather than outsourcing that to the world and to everything else outside of ourselves. It's time to get up, stand up and show up. That fire that is burning, that ember, that calling, that thing that has brought us here, it is time to allow that to take center stage, to become the light that guides us and who we are, how we show up, and how we move through the world, the actions and the patterns that we're following. And to allow it to become a fire that burns away anything that gets in the way of our truth, that gets in the way of us being ourselves, and gets in the way of our power and our potential, to burn away the patterns, the pain in the past that no longer serves us or keeps us stuck, the mindset, the identities, whatever your thing is. And I speak this now because I thought I was getting up. I thought I was showing up and I thought I was standing up. But it wasn't to the level of what is required for what is to come next. For those that don't know me, my name is Chantel Thompson and I'm a proud Barkindji Yimpa woman, a First Nations woman from Australia, and a very proud mum of 5. And being a mum and a First Nations woman are the roles that seed in the source and guide everything else that I do. And I have been on a journey of deep transformation. Words like transcending and transmutation have come into my experience. Anyway, I digress. I have been on school for 18 months to 2 years, and I've been in Arlen Hamilton's world, my coach and mentor, for about 3 years, and she has been in mine. And yet I have been dancing around negotiating my own power and potential, my own responsibility to take the handle of my own life, to take the pen, to get my feet moving in the direction that I know I'm called for, that I'm chosen for. Arlen is the example, the witness, the guide. Everything I need to succeed, the teachings are already there. And I both didn't have the capacity or the life season to move on that, but I was also negotiating with that and prioritizing everything else but the thing that would set me free. And it's the question, does the chicken or the egg come first? I'm the founder and the matriarch, the embodiment, the custodian, the future ancestor of my own story, of the Barkindji warrior heart, the warrior heart movement and community and mandate, and the Kilana Foundation. And yet, in order for all those things to become possible, the seed and the source of who I am needs to be well and resourced, not as a luxury, not as an afterthought, but as a responsibility. Because when we show up to lead others, we need to ensure that we are leading ourselves in the way that we are leading others. And it wasn't until this week, the last couple of weeks actually, that I really began to look at the data. I began to look at my bank balance, the baseline of my bank balance and my body. And the body and the bank balance keep the score. And they are not reflecting what I need it to reflect, what I want it to reflect, and what I'm capable of it reflecting. And I wanted to share this here because I know I'm not alone in this experience, in wanting and needing change, feeling called for more, and yet our own shit getting in the way, and not just actual health, work, relationships, whatever it is, but our own excuses and justifications for staying stuck or just dancing on the surface level of what we're capable of. And that's not to diminish what is happening in our lives. It is accountability and responsibility, because my children and those that are in my ecosystem and my world are at an effect of who I am and how I show up and who I choose to be and who I choose not to be, both consciously and unconsciously. And I felt that this would resonate here. I see so many people who are overwhelmed, who get lost, who come here to start something, and then they get lost in the noise or the metrics or the ego or the trauma or life pulling them away from what they came here to do. And this is what I mean by the chicken or the egg. Does the chicken come first or does the egg come first? And for me, it's like I'm living with the consequences of not showing up to attend to things that I knew 6 months, 12 months ago, 20 years ago that I needed to do. Allowing standards and baselines in my life that do not serve me. Now, it was both a choice and a capacity thing and a season. But my ancestors are not allowing me to sit in excuses or denial anymore. It's not about what I can't do. It's about what I can do and what I'm choosing to do. And about meeting who I am along the way and allowing life to be what it is, while allowing my energy, my focus, and my efforts and actions to be guided by the future that I want to live and create in. And that I also need, because if you're not done with your own shit and excuses, I'm sure some of us have areas of our life that are done with us, that we're living in consequences, whether it's financial, mental, purpose, relationships, whatever it is. There is a bank balance that is sitting at zero or even in the red, because we are now dealing with the consequences of not showing up and moving when we got the call. And I want to be here on school to change my life, but I also want to create a movement, and I want that movement to be global. And Arlen is showing that that is all possible from her home, from her computer. Yes, she travels, and yes, she does in-person stuff, but she makes it amplify what she's doing online. And I realized I'm done, and something ancestral shifted over the last 48 hours. Something that I can't even put words to, but something that released that final layer of resistance. And I will be honest, it is not safe to be me in the world. As a First Nations woman and mother, it is not safe to be me. I'm also not allowed, I'm too much, and I'm not enough to be myself out in the world, out there. But in here, I get to choose whether I allow that to be how I am in my own world and experience. So if you are here on school, make it mean something. Remember why you came here. If you came here for community and to connect to better yourself, then do that. Use the classrooms, use the teachings, use the community. If you are here to open your own community, or you are here because you have a mission or a purpose that is bigger than you, then do something with that. Make sure you are helping yourself as much as you can while or before asking others to help you. I see so many comments of people, I'm lost, I'm overwhelmed. Breathe. Go to the Start Here section of this community. Read the pin post. Most community owners who are worth their salt of being called a community owner or leader have set the community up for success in a way that we can lead ourselves and guide ourselves, so that when we come to ask the community for support or contribute, it is because we have genuinely gone, okay, I've gone as far as I can, now I need to activate the resources of this community or the leadership. Go to the Start Here section. Use the investment of the classroom. Use the investment of supporting and contributing, providing value. Because I'm here to get up, stand up, and show up for something bigger than myself. But I'm doing so by being myself, so that those looking for me can find me. Arlen's words. But I'm also done with being thirsty. I'm ready to get hungry. Again, Arlen's teachings. If you know, you know. If you don't, go and look it up. And I wanted to share this with you as a part of my experience. And a bit of I think I've rambled, but anyway, if you are here and you're still here, thank you. As the person and the woman called to bring the warrior heart into the world, and the Kelana Foundation, and my own Barkindji warrior experience of being an athlete, a mother, a storyteller, just being a human being, I'm ready for more. I'm ready and so done with survival mode and burnout and self-abandonment as a way of life, love and leadership. And as the seed and the source of my own life and experience, I'm ready to take responsibility, something activated in me, something released, the final layers of fear and doubt that got in the way of me believing and allowing myself to exist as I am, nothing less or nothing more, in all of my humanity and the complexity, in all the power and brilliance, and also all the dysfunction and pain. But my movement moving forward will be guided and directed by my heart, my truth, and what I can do rather than what I can't do. I hope this serves you. I hope this calls you out in a good way. And I hope this meets you in a moment of need, because we already have everything we need to create the change that we want to see. Outside of ourselves may not be within our control, but how we choose to receive the outside happenings of the world, even our own families, our own environments, and trust me, I am speaking from lived experience of divorce of 20 years, choosing to leave a marriage, not because I didn't love my life, but because that life didn't love me back in a way that was nourishing and healthy and safe. As a woman who chose her truth and then had 2 children who said that truth doesn't serve us, and a mother's grief of proximity over a woman being well in her own experience and being a mother of 5. When I chose my truth, I didn't realize how fractured and how much my world would shatter and how much I would spiral into a lot of things. Let's leave it at that. If this is speaking to you, hit me up and we can connect further. But I'm speaking from lived experience, and I'm speaking with, I'm done being broken. I'm ready for more, but also my children and those that I serve deserve the best version of me. But in order to give them the best version, I need to give myself the best version. I need to ensure that my home is in order. My body, my mind, my spirit, my physical home. And that's not to delay. That's to ensure that the foundations of what I'm building, of what I'm teaching, is from embodied leadership and experience, sovereign, transcendent leadership and experience. Not about making excuses, but about being in the world as it is, but also allowing my steps to be guided by the world that I want to see, that I want to live in, to ensure that the seeds that I plant, the leaves, the example that I leave behind will be here for generations to benefit from. So this is a message to my fellow schoolers. And this also came about because I read this morning why Sam Owen started school as a platform. He wanted to create community. And he also wanted to empower people who wanted to create the capacity to live their passion as their life. Their passion is the thing that resources and sustains their life and themselves as the human. And they wanted to create communities and movements around that. Now I'm here for that, but I realized I was playing, I was dabbling. Now I'm all in on school, on YouTube, on the digital economy and a digital ecosystem, because I want time and location freedom. I want sovereignty and self-determination over myself, my work, and I also want to be well and resourced in the work that I do as the human being. Everything else becomes a ripple effect. So I'm here to lead by example, to show up, but also to create a life where I can actually live and thrive. Regardless of what's going on around me, I can respond to what's going on around me, not react or be controlled by it. This is the ramblings and the musings of Chantel Thompson, the Barkindji warrior, warrior heart. And I hope this serves you and honors you and meets you in some way. This is my becoming season.